Are there any statements? The member for Fraser.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I rise to speak of a truly Australian story, a man whose courage, strength and pure determination embodies the Australian spirit. Through Cadel Evans and his spectacular win in the Tour de France, the world's toughest endurance race, all Australians can be truly proud. Cadel Lee Evans was born in Katherine in the Northern Territory, and he spent the first 4 years of his life in the tiny Arnhem Land Aboriginal community of Burunga, 80 kilometres outside of Katherine. Although locals saw him pedalling around town in his BMX, none of them foresaw his triumphant rise to the top of the cycling world, and his elevation into the pantheon of Australia's great sporting heroes. Evans has lived all across this great land, from the dusty outback to the urban metropolis of Melbourne. He's an everyman, someone who all Australians can aspire to be. He describes himself at school as being completely unsuitable for almost all Australian school sports. But despite his small stature and lack of speed, he persevered with cycling. Although he was originally a rising star of the mountain biking world, having competed at the Junior World Championships and finished second, Evans, assisted by his coach Aldo Sassi, switched to road racing and continued to excel. When I was in high school, I competed in some triathlons, but it's my brother Tim Lee who's the avid cyclist of the family. He's followed Cadel Evans' journey from the beginning. He's the kind of person who you can always tell when the Tour de France is on, because he's got bleary eyes every day. And I know Tim celebrates the fact that an Australian has finally won his favourite race, the Tour de France, as does Josh Orchard, a sports fan who interned in my office this week and assisted with this speech. In my electorate, I want to also use this chance to pay tribute to the many local cyclists who've been inspired by Cadel Evans' win. My mountain biking friends Dan Ashcroft, Damien Hickman, Tony Shields, and the work locally of Pedal Power in the ACT, campaigning for better bike paths for all cyclists. Cadel Evans first tasted success in the Tour of Austria in 2001 and again in 2004, as well as a Commonwealth Games time trial victory in 2002. He followed this up with impressive performances in other road races, including our very own Tour Down Under in the Adelaide Hills. And I think everyone pretty much expected he'd go on to compete for cycling's greatest and most challenging prize, the Tour de France. In 2006, Evans rode his first tour. While noted by many cycling enthusiasts as Australia's greatest potential, his first tour didn't garner the media attention now showered upon him. His strong performance ensured his 2007 campaign was watched by millions of Australians, willing him along the road. We experienced the highs and lows of the day's stages and the eventual heartbreak that Evans must have felt after racing over 90 hours to fall just 23 seconds short of Alberto Contador. After a disappointing race in 2008, Evans regrouped for the next year. However, in 2009, Evans again fell painfully short of the grand prize, finishing second in a strong performance. Again in 2010, Evans suffered a hairline fracture in his elbow and had to halt his campaign. This year, millions of Australians tuned in to the characteristically excellent tour coverage provided by SBS. We watched Evans battle through the tour, constantly chasing down breakaways, especially on the 19th stage in the French Alps, where Evans launched a stunning fight back after mechanical problems caused him to fall more than 2 minutes behind. We cheered and we cried when Evans demolished the penultimate stage, a time trial, and took the lead, and even more so as he cycled into Paris. And we watched as the man pulled on that yellow jersey, took his place on the podium, and for the first time, Australian had won the Tour de France. At 34, Cadel Evans is the oldest Tour winner in the post-war era. In his acceptance speech, Evans dedicated his win to his late mentor, Aldo Sassi, the very man who'd helped convert Evans to road racing, who died of cancer in 2010. Evans is a champion of sport, not only because of his success, but because of his perseverance and determination. Even when he's fallen behind, he's refused to give up. In a sport sometimes tainted by doping, Evans refused to accept anything less than a clean win in the greatest tour of them all. He defied age, and he defied expectations. He embodies the Australian spirit, a spirit to win, to play fair and to be a proud yet gracious winner.